Hey, so we have Bitcoin today. This is the 1st of August, 2022, and we're going to dive straight into the technical analysis. So we're on the daily chart right here, and we're just going to see where our support and resistance lines are, draw some fib levels, and see where we could, predict where price is going to be going. So, we have these trend lines here. This is a trend line that we've been holding for the last couple months, and then we broke below it. Now, as you can see on the daily, we're trying to get back up above it. It's around $26,000. Um, but as you can see, there is currently resistance at around 24K. So we aren't making it back to $26,000 without hitting some major resistance, meaning that if we do not break above the resistance, we will likely get rejected and then fall down to lower targets. So that's something to look out for. We'll leave that line there as kind of like a footnote that we have going on. We also have this trend right here. We could say that it's around there. I'm looking at these two touch points here. This is actually a third one with a little fake out. But as you can see, we're actually hitting that trend line right there and using it as resistance right now. We're getting rejected from that point. So that's something to look out for. And then we have a downward sloping trend line coming up from here, and we could have that going about right there. So now, we're getting a little bit of crossing lines here, but we can see is like the resistance coming in at these levels is pretty significant. So anywhere basically in this triangle is going to be a great buying opportunity for a short position, betting on it to go down. Breaking above this resistance level right here would mean that there would be some positive price action. But if we do not break above it, we are likely to come down. So these are much lower targets. These are much higher targets, depending on what we got going on here. But that 26,000 to 24,000 range is the range that we're looking at as resistance. Now we're going to go into the 4 hour. Before we do that, the daily SRSI is high, saying that it is likely that we do come down to test some support lines, even though there aren't many. I would say that we do have support around here, around 17.5, since that is our last, that is our lowest, target in recent levels here. And then we'll put this 27K and 26K. We'll put those as good old resistance. And actually, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this 26 to 24K. I'm going to make that a range. Make that a rectangle. And we'll have that from 24. Oh, try to get exact. Up to 26. Boom. And we'll leave that range right there. That's going to be a nice pocket to open up short positions. And yeah, we'll go from there. So 4 hour. Start looking at some price action here. And we can see we're in a rising channel right here with a likelihood to break down. What we can do is we can copy this line and see if there's any confluence in this right here. And yeah, you can see that this is the general trend that we're looking at here. I should lower that down to get another touch point right there. All right, so this is what we're following right now. Technically, kind of in like the middle of this rising wedge. Looks like we are currently breaking down. So lower price targets of this thing to hold this, pattern would be around 21.5, 21.7 thousand dollars, and just to maintain this price action is healthy if we continue in this pattern. And the thing is with these rising channels is the likelihood is, or the probability is that this will break down, and we could see something like this. It is just a prediction, but this is something that we could see. The 4 hour right now is low, so it is saying that we could find some support over here at this last high, possibly come up and start playing around in this range and head up to the upside. That is another potential here. It's just something, in order to break this resistance, this is something that we would have to do. If we do not, we would likely come down, test the support bearishly, and then come down further. So that's a 4 hour. 4 hour is curling up, so there is some room to the upside here. If we could run a fib line, we'll do it like a inverse fib. have it this way. Drag that out. And you can see right now 23,300 is around that support level on the fib line, and we did break it, so we are below that right now. So that will be acting as resistance. Our next support is 22,000, and that's on the 4-hour chart right here. So we're looking at 22,000 for support, 23,300 as resistance, and yeah, we'll dive in deeper. Actually, before we do that, we're just looking for any divergences. It seems like we're good on that. All right, 1 hour. Actually, now that we checked on divergences on the 4-hour, let's see any divergences on the daily. Actually, yeah, there's divergence. Getting bearish divergence here. Swing up to swing down, and then compared to swing down to swing up. That is a divergence there on the daily chart. Not looking good for long-term price action to the upside. We're getting some bearish divergence there. So we'll get on the 1 hour here. Zoom in. And we see, yeah, we're still in that rising channel. Possibly could be making a head and shoulders pattern here. Just something that could be developing is something like this, the left shoulder, a head, and we could probably see it like this, and then a right shoulder forming. And then, this is the beginnings of it. Definitely not, anything exact right here. But if this were to happen, there would be a price target of around 19,200. This is a possible pattern we got going on here. This is just a prediction, though. In this case, that we would be breaking out of this falling. I mean, this rising wedge, we would be breaking out of it, or down from it. So we could come here, come here, come here, play around a little bit, break it, do something like that, and then boom. That's just a random, not necessarily random prediction, but it's based on support and resistance lines, and it's something that we could see or analyze throughout the time coming up. And it's likely that if we do remain bearish, that this is the pattern that we will follow. We'd come down, test the support level, back up to the resistance. Not able to break above it, we will go back to the support level of the rising channel, play around here, break down, break up, bearishly retest, and then come down to the measured move. This is a long projection, so obviously there's a lot of there's a probability that it does happen, but the longer the projection gets, the more inaccurate the prediction becomes. But this is just some pathway that it could follow. And then from here, the 1 hour is oversold and curling up to the upside. So there is likelihood that we do come up here. And with this move, it looks like we could come up to around 24,000 again. And then if we get rejected, we will come down to lower targets. So that is another move. In order to stay bearish, in order to stay bullish, we want to break above and confirm candles above our headline right here. So if we break candles, or make candles above 24,500, we are more bullish than bearish. But if we are unable to reach above this level, we are likely to come down to the downside. And that's on the 1 hour. We do have some price action likely to come up that way. And then this is on the 15-minute. We'll start deleting that. And it looks like we were in a diamond pattern. It's something I was looking at the other day. Something like this. And wow, that's a much uglier diamond now. Looking at this diamond when it was something like this before, so looks like we broke out of that one. So the measured move of this diamond is around 22,380. We can say 22,500 to be conservative on that. We could move that up. We'll bring it to 22.5. And then let's say you were playing the short here, you'd have your entry or whatever throughout this position, and then your take profit would likely be at 22,500. Right now we are breaking below this support fib level, so yeah, we're breaking below it. I'm trying to see what we got going on here. Slight divergence, not much, but we have a slight divergence there. Swing down to swing down, another swing down to swing down, but it's less. I guess we have less of a swing down on this one. It's more of like an even swing, where this is more of a steep swing. Something to notice there, a little bit of divergence, saying that we have pushed a little bit too far to the downside without any buy action. Um, but since we are breaking out of this bigger diamond pattern, it could just be leaning towards this measured move right here of 22,500. So we're going to keep looking at that. In the meantime, yeah, this is what we have for Bitcoin. We'll leave that diamond pattern here just so we can see what's going on there. Um, we also have these trend lines here. See, we're respecting that right now. We're going down to this channel. So we could be playing this falling wedge right here with a measured move to the upside of around 24,300. So, these are likely moves to happen. If we do break down from this falling channel, likely to come down to 22,500. If we're likely to break out, if we do break out, then it's likely that we go to 24,300. So these are some price action movements, or some technical analysis as we see Bitcoin progress. And yeah, we were zoomed out, now we're zoomed in, and now we're zooming back out just to see what we got going on here. So yeah, just to remind you, the daily is overbought. I know there's a lot of nonsense going on over here, but it is overbought. There's slight bearish divergence over here on the smaller time frames with the swing up to swing up, and then basically like an even swing right there. Some divergence to take note of. And yep, we'll leave it at that. That's Bitcoin on August 1st, 2022. Take care.